Someone once said that if you're succeeding all the time, it means that you're not pushing beyond your limit. And we kind of agree with this. Throughout history, we have seen several people who failed but kept pushing, and this led to massive success. They were able to put what they had learned from failing into good use and come up with something much better. We think about entrepreneurs like Thomas Edison, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and Walt Disney. And you realize that they all had something in common. They didn't succeed on the first try, but they also didn't give up. And that's why we can tell their stories today. Failure is necessary, and we're about to reveal how it leads to success. Stick around. Failure gives you answers. When you try something once and it doesn't go as planned, you've just learned one more way not to do it. And that's why failure is so important. How would you know what works and what doesn't if you've never tried different methods and failed? Only a few lucky people are able to get things right from the first try. Most of the time, it is always about trial and error. So you shouldn't expect things to work out overnight. That reminds us of a popular saying that goes, "Rome wasn't built in a day." The hidden meaning behind the saying is that you wouldn't expect to build a mansion within 24 hours. Even building a house takes months of careful construction, laying brick after brick with care. When you try to get something done and it doesn't work out the first time, that failure has given you a very important answer. Now you know that this is not the right way to execute that situation and wouldn't try the same method next time. Instead, you've just learned one method that doesn't work. When you don't learn from failure, that would only lead to a life filled with regrets. That's not a life you would want to live. You would want to live your life knowing that you always gave your best shot. And when your best shot wasn't good enough, you tried again and again until you got it right. This is the story of many successful entrepreneurs today who didn't give up after their first failure, but kept going until they finally got it right. It's a door to opportunities. Do you know one amazing thing about scientists? They're not afraid to be wrong while on their journey to being right. This is the idea behind innovation. We've heard of successful brands like YouTube, Google, and Facebook, but what about those brands that failed several times before finally getting it right? We all must realize that everything happens for a reason, but we may not always know this. Your life isn't over because you failed at something. Instead, failure has only opened up a new door of opportunity. If the founder of KFC hadn't gotten multiple rejections on his way to creating one of the most famous food companies in the world, he might not have made the right choices for success. Every failure opens up another door of opportunity, just as one closes. Have you ever wondered why you usually get a burst of creativity after failing at something once? Failure lets you think deeper and see things in a new light, especially scenarios that you might not have noticed before. Failing is only the beginning and never the end. It's a chance to try again. Failure builds resilience. When something doesn't go how you plan, what do you do about it? Do you curl up in a corner and cry like a baby? Or do you analyze what went wrong and keep trying again? That's the resilient spirit that comes out of failing. How we react to failure is a huge test of our character, as all that matters is what you do after failing. So, when adversity comes knocking, you have the opportunity to develop your strength and work it out yourself. The beautiful thing about failure is that it gives you a chance to try again. Then it's up to you to decide how many times you're willing to fail to get what you want. That inspires the never give up spirit you need to get through life without fear. However, it's easy to get discouraged after multiple trials and believe that it's not working. But what you don't know is that it's working because you're constantly learning what you're doing wrong, and you won't repeat it the next time you try again. Failure builds courage. Every failure has a seed that would bring higher benefits. Many people who are extremely successful in life failed hundreds of times before getting it right. They were bold enough to see failure as a stepping stone to greatness, and not a bad thing would destroy them. When you always get it right the first time, you may end up not having the mindset or skill to fix a problem whenever something goes wrong. It takes a lot of courage to keep pushing. Despite how many times you fail, you get up and you try again. That's the courage to see failure as an opportunity to try again and keep pushing towards what you want. You should have fun because you're growing and learning with every experience of failure. Some people spend their life wondering what would have happened if they tried, but you had the courage to try. Those people would never know because they allowed the fear of failure to prevent them from starting their journey towards success. When you work up the courage to try something, even without knowing how it turns out, that does a lot for your personality in the long run. You won't be discouraged by roadblocks because you gave it a shot. And that's more than a lot of people can say. Anyone who gives it a shot knowing that there is a huge chance of failure is someone who has the most courage. That should be you. A chance to grow. Which would you cherish more? Something you got easily or one you worked really hard for? It's our nature as humans to appreciate things that we worked hard to get. Some people claim that they have never failed at anything in their lives. While it isn't impossible, it is a sign that something is terribly wrong. Life is all about stepping out of the box and growing with each milestone. If you've never failed at anything before, that's because you've never stepped out of your comfort zone. And if you remain on that spot, it means you will never grow. There's no fun in living your life in one particular way and never daring to go on an adventure. You can get much better results when you step out of that comfort zone, make a move towards something brighter, and then fail at it. This is an amazing opportunity to grow, and you'll never be the same afterward. We're in an era where you shouldn't see failure as a dark cloud or something to be ashamed of. You can confidently say that you tried your best. And when you don't give up, you'll become a completely different person as you realize that you can do much more than you thought. You can't know how you would handle a roller coaster ride if you never tried it before. But the moment you get on that ride and experience it firsthand, even if you puked on your seat partner, you get a better idea of what you're capable of. And if you want to keep trying until you can handle the ride, you're going to do things a lot differently the next time. You might learn that you shouldn't look down so much, or that screaming makes you feel better. This has kickstarted your journey towards success. Failure is an opportunity to grow when you don't give up. Your dreams are waiting, and you can accomplish them when you realize that failure leads to success. This means that you should never be afraid of failing, but only be afraid of giving up after a few tries. So, how about making some lemonade when life hands you lemons? It would be really refreshing. Now you know why failure is necessary, and would only lead to success when you keep trying. And that's a wrap. Have you ever failed at anything and then later succeeded at it because you never gave up? Let us know in the comments. Did you like this video? Well, we're always posting amazing content like this, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out. Thanks for watching.